Hello and welcome to The Thing I Love Most show. And the thing we do love most is Tottenham Hotspur being Yids. And once again, I'm joined here by Mr. Lee Curtin. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, Noel.
And Mr. Matthew Coulson from Spurs News. Just to let you know, we've literally sat here for the past half an hour and we did the first section of the show, and then we were just told by Rodney, our director and producer, that he didn't press record on the audio. So forgive us if we start laughing weirdly, and also we might repeat ourselves because we just basically did the whole show. So here we go again. So let's cast our minds back to only half an hour ago now when we started talking. Obviously, it was an incredibly frustrating result. Poch's come out and said that he was very happy. He was most happy, which he says quite a lot, which is fair enough, but we normally win. So it was quite funny that he was saying that it was one of the best performances we've had. Interesting comments, I think, from him. Obviously, it was a dominating second half performance against a very good team. So, you know, it's obviously good that he is happy with the performance, but is it right that he's saying he's that happy? He's so happy? Does it sound weird to you?
It sounds a little bit weird, yeah. But I kind of see why he's doing it. I think from a change room perspective, it keeps morale high. You know, it encourages the boys that they're up there, they're competing with, you know, the best clubs in England. We're aware that they're probably not the team they used to be, but you look back on the actual performance and we dominated them for probably about 70 minutes of that game. And the 20 minutes where they probably had a bit of luck on the break, we dealt with it quite well. So I think, you know, from people within inside the club, I think he's tried to make it kind of clear that, yes, I'm happy with the performance. Yeah, the boys played very well. But I think ultimately, from a fan's perspective, we want the win to go with. Of course. You know, we're not one of those teams scrounging around at the bottom who put in a hell of a performance and don't get a point or the 3 points they deserve. You know, we want to win. We played well enough. We thought we deserved it. So we find it harder as fans to go, good performance, but no points. So I think I see where he's coming from, definitely, but from a fan's point of view.
I think the second half, I suppose, you know, this season we've struggled to reach those heights attacking-wise of like peppering the goal like we ended up doing. So in that respect, I can see why he's saying it, but I just think it's just a strange terminology. Really.
But the thing is, though, you're saying that Man United aren't the team they used to be. I get that, but it's still Man United, isn't it?
Yeah.
And from the perspective that they've come to us and they've almost had a game plan that we see the likes of Burnley and, you know, teams like that, you know, come along, heavily defend, get a goal on the break, and then, you know, goalkeeper wastes time and they spend the second half just camped in their own half. That's what it was like, wasn't it? So from that
100%.
that point of view, having Man United, regardless of where they are now, but still having Man United coming here and respecting us the way they did.
And I think the fans have to. I think that's probably where Poch's going from a football side, and working within the club and within the change room. But the fans, you know, anybody watching that game, and we all woke up disappointed. But you got to look at that and go, hang on, United have come to us and set up, you know, as a Burnley, as a Huddersfield. And, you know, their goalkeeper's wasting time in the first half. They've nicked a goal and they've sat back on it. And, well, they didn't even really sit back on it. We absolutely peppered them in the second half. And they couldn't control us. They couldn't control the runs. They couldn't control the speed of the ball. And the commentators were constantly touching on how tired their players looked. And it was us lot that was playing, you know.
Yeah, they had a midweek break.
They had a midweek break in the sunshine. It was us lot, like, you know, going toe-to-toe with the other lot in a cup semi. So there was lots of positives to take, and I get where Poch is coming from when he's, you know, he was pleased with the performance because we've just come out of a full-on cup semi-final. So yeah, a lot to be proud of, and I kind of get what he's saying, but again, the bottom line for a fan is
we lost.
We lost, and we wanted the points.
So let's talk about the game then. Obviously, it wasn't a glaring error from Trippier. It was just one of those overconfident, poor passes, which we'll talk about in a second. But I suppose the Rashford shot itself, could Lloris have done better with that? Do you think he was? I mean, would you say he was at fault for conceding the goal, or just that he could have gone better? How harsh can we be?
Yeah, his positioning was out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that was quite obvious, wasn't it? And it seems to be creeping into his game quite a lot recently, and we were seeing it quite a lot this season. And I think that's the thing. Like, you know, we talk about Gazaniga and the games he's played, but we always say with Lloris that his shot stopping is world class, and that's what makes him, you know, our number one. But he's making the errors, and because his distribution, I would argue, isn't as good as Gazaniga's. You're starting to question now. You know, is he as solid? Is he as solid at number one as he has been in the past?
How close
you know?
do we think Gazaniga is then? You think, Lee?
He's got to be knocking on the door for me. I think we spoke previously, and it's like 7-8 games, hasn't lost. You know, he's unbeaten. I think 50-60% of those are with clean sheets. And some, you know, we may say they're all in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup early rounds. He's played in Champions League.
Exactly.
He's played in the Premier League, and he hasn't let us down. And you can always tell. From a fan's reaction as well when they see Gazaniga in the sticks. There's not a worry. Nobody looks at him as the number 2 anymore. Nobody kind of goes, "Oh, you know, we're missing Hugo today." That's not the conversation in the terrace anymore.
Well, you look at the Chelsea game. I genuinely, I mean, I was at the game. I don't know if you guys were there, but I was at the game, and you know, normally when you play a number 2, you're like, I'd rather, although he's played all the previous rounds, I'd rather have our number 1 in. But there wasn't that feeling. You're like, I've got full confidence that he's going to be as good, if not better than Lloris, you know?
Yeah, he's got to be close. And I genuinely feel that maybe if we was already down the road and was sitting in a new stadium, that he would probably be pushing even harder. I think he'd be in, if Lloris keeps making those similar mistakes and we're already in the new stadium, I think he'd be in the sticks now. I just think that Hugo's kind of integral to the senior players that we have around the change room and that we have around the squad and the club. And I feel Poch is probably feeling a little bit obliged to, you know, kind of stick with him.
Do you think it's difficult with the club captain, dropping your club captain?
It will. It's going to be. But I would have said, if you know, had this been the week before and Harry wasn't rolling around on a bed somewhere right now, you go, it's not a problem because you've got Harry to carry the armband. But, you know, you look at it now and go, club captain or not, he's probably got to start looking at, you know, if he's starting to cost us points. He's probably got to sit down.
I think as well, talking about the captain side of it, for me, I'd rather see Harry Kane captain because of the way Kane is. You know, he leads by example, doesn't he? And you can see how much effort he puts into everything, and that rubs off other people, doesn't it? You know, it's the same as when you work for a bad manager and you don't want to, like, if they're not leading by example, you're not buying into it. But when you've got someone that does lead by example, and if he's telling you to do something because he does it as well, that's a natural born captain for me. And I'm not saying that's not what Lloris is like, but just Kane for me really stands out as a natural captain, and I genuinely would rather see him as our captain than Lloris. I think he'd be a better call.
Yeah, I mean, but captain aside, I think if you go back to it, I think he's cost us a goal. Well, 50-50 with Mr. Trippier. He's cost us a goal. It's not the first time. It does seem to be more regular than before. You know, it'd be one in every kind of 8-9 games previously, and then he'd have a worldie of a game, and everyone's like, oh, well, he's made up for it now.
And what about the rest of his performance? Decent save from Pogba.
But we were that dominant that he didn't really have much to do.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and that's probably the disappointing thing. You know, it was Man United. You know, we had him there. We had him there for the taking. We had him there for the first time in 29 years to beat them. You know, home and away, or do the double over them, and there was a few other records, and we had them there to take. So it's disappointing because we were the better team.
And you spoke about Trippier there. Another mistake from him, which has cost us. Do you think that he's getting a little bit overconfident now? Do you think he's, I don't know if cocky is the right word, but, you know, is it sort of believing the hype? Because obviously he had an amazing World Cup as a wing back. So are we finding that fact he's now playing as a right back with the defensive responsibilities, maybe he's struggling with those, or is he in a bad run of form, or what would you put it down to?
Yeah, I think for me, he's believing in his own hype now, isn't he? I mean, he had a pretty decent World Cup, then he scored that great free kick, starts the season, scores a similar one against Fulham for Wembley, and I just think that he started to think, like, I've done it now. You know, I don't need to do the bog standard stuff. I can kind of, like, you know, and because of that, he's not sticking to to the basic. I mean, like for example, you look at the Wolves game. You know that goal, that mistake he made. That's something that he wouldn't normally like because he's believing in his own hype in a way. You know, it's kind of affecting his game.
Yeah, I agree. I feel he just believes he's probably a little bit better than he is, and you know, I don't for one think that he has just general errors in him. I don't think when he plays he has general errors in him. He's not the sort who kind of, you know, will stand on the ball or, you know, all his errors this year have come from being overconfident. They've come, you know, a Cruyff turn in his own corner. You know, and then this lazy crossfield pass when everybody's pushed up to the halfway line without looking. There's been another one in one of the other matches, and they're all self-inflicted. They all just kind of, you know, ooze and stink of somebody who thinks they're just a little bit better than they are. And I'll take your point about the wing back and standard fullback. You know, I get he was a standard fullback when he came from Burnley, and he done it very well. I don't think it's affected him too much. The change of position, I think, probably alleviates the defensive side, but defensively, I don't think he's really been tortured this season. No. I don't think he, you know. So again, it's just the spotlight that he's brought on himself. He's brought on himself for his own mistakes, not his defending.
Yeah, sure.
It's been, you know,
it's just so frustrating because that was the sort of all the big games this season. That's what you have to iron out. You can't be making those mistakes because you do get punished, you know. But they didn't really offer anything else, you know. And so to talk about the second half, obviously there was lots of chances. The Dele Alli one probably was the best. You know, the Alderweireld one, again, 9 times out of 10, that's going in the back of the net.
The Dele one was the most clear cut.
Yeah.
I think that's the one you want. You want your players to finish. You know, and the players say, "Oh, maybe if it was Kane, well, Kane had one similar and found the same big toe." So you know,
Dele's been quite clinical in front of goal recently,
and he has been, which is why I was really surprised that he kept it low because I thought he might. I thought he might go for the little chip. I thought he might go, you know, for the little bit of the audacious finish, and that probably was what was required.
So we're giving De Gea loads of credit for being the foot master that he was?
I'm prepared to. I'm prepared to. Yeah, we hit a lot of shots close to him.
Yeah.
But I still think there's probably three saves.
He had to be in the right position, didn't he?
His positioning.
Yeah.
I think Ben Foster tweeted last night, and he said, like, oh, people will talk about, you know, these shots at him, but he's still actually got to react, and his reflexes were still absolutely lightning to clear them, whether it's with his foot or his hand.
Yeah.
His positioning was spot on.
Maybe if, you know, Lloris was watching, he would know that if he's a bit more central, then he could have saved it with his feet.
Well, if Lloris watches back, he'll see that he overshot his post when he was running back from the middle of the 18-yard box. Otherwise, it probably would have been the same outcome, or the hand that he got to it would have been enough to put it onto the post rather than just inside the goal. So let's hope he did watch it back.
And it was a bit of an injury at the end of the game from Kane that you see there, that he was hobbling after the game, not looking great. Yeah. Is it, you know, same ankle again? Are we having the same concerns?
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? I mean, they can't scan it though because they're swelling so much. It does sound almost identical to that injury he got last season. So it looks
3 to 4 weeks, maybe more. I think with some missing as well, it's not great, is it?
It's not great. It's not a good time, is it?
I mean, I know obviously we'll talk about the Fulham game when we do a preview of it, but I can see Llorente playing that game. I know he's not played much Llorente this season, but he looked fairly sharp, didn't he? You know, when he came on,
looked good against Tottenham.
I can't see a problem. Like, you know, I know all players need game time, don't they? And he's not getting much of that at the moment, so he's going to be a bit rusty, isn't he? But I'll still be happy to see him starting.
I think he probably will play against Fulham. I think he probably deserves to play, and again, it's one of those people can't expect him to come on and perform miracles in 5 minutes here and 4 minutes there. Exactly. I do find it really, really harsh, you know, and I don't care what level you play at or what age you are. You know, if you sit on the bench and you're not playing, as soon as your manager goes, right, you're on. You got, you know, the first chance that comes your way, you will snatch at it. Like, you are so excited, like you will snatch at it. Like, from 5 years old to like 45, players will snatch at it because they just haven't, you know, they want to prove they just haven't played. So, look, I think he has the ability. He doesn't move like Kane. He doesn't have the pace, and so he has other strengths, and I think it's important that
They will have to change the way they play.
we have
won't
to
they?
change the way we
Yeah,
play,
absolutely,
and we
yeah.
have to use, even if he's at the forefront, and you have Ali behind him or Lamela behind him, so be it. It will get us through certain games, but I do think now is the time. This is the first time this has happened. It's not deja vu. I don't know what comes. I don't know what comes after deja vu when it's the third time. But we do now have to look at it and go, right. If we're going to have to get some money out, we're going to have to get some money out.
Well, we'll know if Rodney said he hasn't recorded it. we'll be doing this for the third time. And
Sometimes it's the best time to get injured, like during the January transfer window. I mean, at least he can.
Well, it always seems to be the same time, though, doesn't it?
It does,
always seem around the same time, and you're just
Yeah.
he was sat on the floor yesterday, and they zoomed in on his face, and straight away I had flashbacks to the Bournemouth game where he sat next to the goalpost, and his facial expressions were the same. He doesn't roll around the floor, does he? He's not like moaning. You could just see he just held his ankle, and the look on his face, and you just like, he was like, this ain't good.
Not good.
This ain't good. So so we're double with deja vu.
So we have news this week that Dembele is off to warmer climates, maybe? I don't know. Possibly. So it was going to go to one Chinese club, but you were just saying that he's gone to a different one now.
Don't ask
I'm
me.
not going to ask you.
Yeah, I'm not going to pronounce them, but it's the same one that Paulinho went to, apparently. So
he's flown over there and he's signing.
sounds like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Are we thinking that might mean that we're going to get someone else in? Is it going to be a revolving door? Is there going to be someone else, you think?
Well, we're not going to be able to get anyone of his quality for the amount we're getting for him, are we?
True.
I mean,
What was it 9 million?
Yeah.
Between 9 and 10 million.
It
and
seems quite
we
low
paid
considering.
what for him?
15, I think.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You
Well, we've had his best years, haven't we?
And I was just about to say we've had his best years,
Yeah.
and I think he's been a good servant.
Amazing servant.
He's been a good servant,
really
and
good.
I think probably last year we probably really seen the way he at his peak could absolutely just boss.
Yeah.
Premier League, Champions League football. And it's a shame really because I feel like he never really, through injuries etc., never really fulfilled his potential. But I for one just kind of got to wish him all the best. So on his 9 million a year contract that they're giving him as well. Whatever,
really?
Whatever
Okay.
it appears to be.
Oh, it's like
But
that
it's not a
kind
bad
of money.
retirement fund.
No, of course it isn't. And the thing is as well, he could have gone in the summer for free and probably would have been paid more. But it's almost like he said, "Look, I'll go now. Get you guys a fee." So, and I know he's been injured for quite a lot. So we've been paying him like when he's not been paying. So I wonder if part of it is the loyalty comes from the fact that he's like, "Look, I haven't been playing that much. Recently you paid me, so I'll help you back out by getting you a fee." But it's one of those ones where we've lost so many good players, and if he was going 2 or 3 years ago, I'd be devastated. But I think for us, he's going at the right time. And it's one of them ones where he's moving on. I absolutely love Dembele. He's been one of my absolute favourite players of the last few years, and he's going the right way. Like he's leaving the right way. So there's no bad taste. It's just all like, you deserve it, mate. You go and get that final paycheck. You've been an absolute fantastic servant to the club over the years, and I've wished nothing but good luck, mate, to him. So I feel
a proper pro.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
never heard a mumble or a murmur. There's never been an issue or any moans ever come out.
And it was always the one where whenever the players were asked about who was the most technical or who was the most skillful, who was the strongest, it was always him.
I can't remember who they interviewed. I think it was like on Soccer AM once they interviewed somebody and they asked about Dembele. I think it might have even been Harry Winks, and he's like, Dembele wouldn't get the ball off him in a phone box. And it's literally just one of those. And then you look at him, you see clips of him in training, going, he probably wouldn't.
But he thrived off that, didn't he? He thrived off that.
So obviously Sissoko got an injury yesterday as well. Looks like he's on his groin. So we are looking a little bit short in the centre of the park. Obviously Skip's come on, but is he good enough to throw in at the deep end on a regular basis? Do we actually need cover? Do we have enough?
I don't know how far away Wanyama is. I don't know the extent of Sissoko's injury just yet.
You've also got Dyer, haven't you, to come back as well.
Dyer's to come back. And I think looking at the way he played and has appeared so far, I think there's probably games for Skip. I think there's probably games where he can, do a job for us for 70, 80 minutes in the midfield. I know he's quite young and there's a lot of pressure. But we've got a run of games coming up where I think he could feature and probably not look totally out of place. But we are craving that experience. We do crave a bit more of that experience at the moment. I mean, losing Dembele, Sissoko out, Wanyama out, Dyer out, they're all much of alike, aren't they, in terms of they're your insurance midfielders.
Yeah.
You know, don't worry about Dembele, Ericsson and Lamela up there and Moura doing their thing up that end.
Yeah.
It's the ones just sitting behind them. So at the moment, it looks like it's the grand old master, Harry Winks, at the age of 23 or something.
We could play Lamella there. That would be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Gone in 6 minutes. Gone in 6 minutes.
Oh,
2
that
yellows.
would be.
You give him 6 minutes.
hilarious.
Yeah.
would
That's
be
time to
hilarious.
argue with the ref over the first yellow. So, yeah, Harry Winks looks like he'd almost sit there by himself at the moment. So, yeah, we're probably looking a little bit light.
Do you think they're going to maybe try and, get someone in? Because he always says that in the past that basically it's not a revolving door, but, he likes his small squads, but he obviously would prefer it if a player goes out, then he can get something in. So, the funds are obviously there now.
I think obviously we've got with the stadium, that's really, it's clear, isn't it? Obviously with the lack of transfer activity in the summer, that's really affecting things at the moment. But if we're gonna get a bit of money in from the likes of Dembele, I don't know if we're gonna sell some of the other fringe players, then he might say to him, mightn't he? So like, whatever you get, look, just get yourself a midfielder with that. I mean, it doesn't look like Jansen's coming back at any point.
No, that's definitely
and I don't know if Nkudu's on his way out. He doesn't. I
think he identified very, very early on in the season Nkudu would go, Jansen would go.
There's been strong.
And I think there was one more.
I was to say, strong rumours that Vorm's been touted to championship clubs as well.
And Wanyama potentially, maybe before the Dembele.
They said Wanyama would go next season, didn't they?
Okay.
They said he'd go at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably Poch calling
And we
shots
need
on
him,
that
we
one.
need him.
Yeah.
fair
We need it. And, given our current situation as well, I'm hoping that probably if you just take it back up top for a second, that if Llorente has to go or wants to go in this window, that it is on January the 31st.
Yeah. It's going to have to be
buys us 2 more weeks of.
I don't think
of
they'll
football.
let him go if Kane's injured. No, I can't
because
see
we
it.
haven't, because normally you'd sort of play Son up, but obviously we haven't got Son, have we? So
they
we were
won't-
really
they won't-
short
they
there
won't
as well,
let
aren't we?
him go.
Yeah. And I don't know how long Mora's out for. You got any idea on Mora?
No.
So we are looking ever so slightly light now again.
I think what you're saying about Skip, he's one of these players though, isn't he? Where he's reliable. It's almost like with Trippier, say like the Trippier that we knew before, where he's not spectacular, but you can kind of just rely on him. Do you know? And I've not seen a Skip play a game yet where I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? Or he's not setting the world alight, but at the same time, he's a solid midfielder. So
He's strong.
yeah,
I think he's got a mature head, hasn't he?
Yeah,
and I think.
Well, he looks older than 70 for a start. Doesn't he? He looks like he's late 20s.
Loving that. I want to see that birth certificate. He looks very mature in his game, and I think that's probably why Poch has taken to him. It's very similar to Winks when he came in. His passing ability, the way he used the ball and passed the ball was kind of ahead of his years.
Well, he's been playing for the under-23s for a while. He's under, at 17, he's been playing for the under-23s, which shows how much he rates him.
Yeah. I actually like Marsh.
He looks all right.
I like Marsh, but I believe they're letting him go. I think he's old. I think he's older.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think he's like a second-year pro.
Right.
I think he played a few games in the pre-season and he showed a little bit.
He's been on the bench a couple of times.
Yeah, but I think he's one of the ones to go as well in this window. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. And there's no names being touted around, so you can't even speculate.
Yeah. But that's I don't mind that. But I prefer it annoys me with rumours. I prefer to just see them in the shirt and then enjoy it if it happens. So.
I think we're used to sort of pre-Poch of wanting to see loads of signings and like the Harry Redknapp days where he'd buy the old pros that we all knew the names like Zaha and that, and it'd be good to see him, but they was always coming to the end of their careers. And we've realised now that we've got a strong squad, and if we're going to bring someone in, it needs to be someone that's going to.
It's not going to be 9 million, is it?
No, we don't. We don't. Yeah, exactly.
No.
So if we're going to bring someone in, we're going to have to spend a bit of money, and those, unfortunately, those transfers aren't the ones that come easy, are they?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So, only one game this week, coming up on Sunday, away at Fulham. We've got a decent record against them. They are conceding goals quite a lot. I would say that before Kane's injury, I'd be more confident going there. But I still think that surely with the team that we have, going forward that we've got to be confident of a decent victory there. They've seemed to have even struggled with Ranieri. They seem to have played a little bit better, got a few more goals maybe. Mitrovic is coming to back a bit of form, which he dropped as soon as I put him in my fantasy league team. Standard. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be a decent result for us?
Yeah, I do. I think we need it.
Yeah,
and I think we've shown in I think it's like, was it 2 defeats in the last 10 games or something? But every time it's happened, we've bounced back. I fancy us to bounce back, and hopefully Llorente will get a run out, and we do it the right way and play to his strengths. You know, I could see us hitting them for like 3.
So if we do go to his strengths, and I suppose is that a wing back? Do you think because actually getting across his
it would be for me.
We could go Rose and Trips or Kyle Walker-Peters maybe.
Yeah,
I suppose he's probably going to play he's going to play the Chelsea game. I don't know, but I think and also the fact if we're missing Sissoko in the middle, that might mean that we could shore things up by having Winks and Eriksen deeper.
Yeah,
the wing backs.
I would go wing
Toby
backs
and Jan.
I would go wing backs for that game, and I'd definitely go with that shout as well of Rose and KWP. They would definitely feature for me.
Yeah. So, well, now we've just picked the team. What do we think the score's going to be?
I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, I fancy us to get a decent result. It's one of those horrible grounds. I feel like, when you go to Sellers Park, one of those kind of grounds where if their fans are really up for it, it's like it's not going to be nice for us. But yeah, I mean, on paper, we're obviously a much better team. We're more, better form than they are. So yeah, we should come away with a nice, comfortable 3-1, 2-1, 3-1. Yeah, I'll say 3. Can I copy you 3-1? I'll go 3-1.
Of course you can. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go 2-0. I think it's going to be quite a decent performance. And like you said, we are bouncing back really well this season. And it's not even like we played badly yesterday. It was just, unlucky, as we saw. So there we go. So we're going to open up the floor and answer some questions. So what was your first Spurs game? My first Spurs game was against Man City in 1992. My uncle took me and we lost 1-0. Lanky Niall Quinn got the goal, so not the best one. What about yours, guys?
My first one was a 2-0 win at home against Ipswich. I think it was 1984.
1984?
Yes.
You whippersnapper. And you, Matt?
My first game was White Hart Lane against QPR. I think we beat them 1-0, and I seem to remember, I think it was Gary Stevens that broke his leg. I just remember it just being a really bad injury, and just
keep laughing.
And don't ask me what year it was. It was a long time ago.
Okay, cool. Next question. So we've got, what was your favourite win? Oh man, that is a very, very tough question. What was your favourite win? I literally, off the top of my head, I could not even. This season, it wasn't a win. It was Barcelona. Going to Barcelona and getting that draw was incredible. So I don't know about a win, but this season for me, that was the one. So you guys, what's your favourite win, Lee?
Off the top of my head, I'd probably go the 3-1 win at Wembley against Arsenal. Schoolboys own stuff.
Yeah,
that was that sticks out in the memory for me.
This season, my favourite win of this season probably is the Man U game because we didn't play too well and we ended up smashing them 3-0. So this season, that's been my favourite win.
Yeah, okay. Best away day. Oh, best away day. Whoa, there's been quite a few. One of mine was the FA Cup quarter-final against Liverpool at Anfield when Sheringham scored and then Klinsmann scored in the last minute. I think I was only about 13, 14. That was just insane. That whole season was amazing. And Klinsmann was a legend, one of my favourite all-time players. And that was a really, really special game. So that just off the top of my head, that was mine. Best away day for you, Lee?
I think it's probably a few years back we played Newcastle. I think I just enjoy Newcastle anyway. So, I think me and the boys made a whole weekend of it. So yeah, probably Newcastle away is one up there for me.
I can tell you my most disastrous away day. That was quite recently.
It's not therapy. Ask the question here. Come on.
I don't get to go to many away games, but I've been to. My brother-in-law's a big Sunderland fan, so when they were in our league, which isn't was quite a while ago now, we used to go to Sunderland quite a lot, and I remember us beating them a couple of times there. Obviously, went to the Wolves game as well this season, which was it was a fun experience until they started scoring. But yeah, I'd say probably a couple of Sunderland away ways, my best ones.
Okay. So there's a few asking where we're placing Spurs in the league, especially with our injuries. I think we should definitely be looking to get third. I think we're probably the third best team. It's just a case of obviously dealing with those injuries. Fingers crossed Kane's not going to be out for that long. But I think if you look at the other teams, if you look at Chelsea and Man U, obviously Man U are coming into a bit of form, but I think we've got to be confident. And yeah, fingers crossed we can do it. Whether that's in the new stadium or not, who knows? But I think I would definitely predict third place for me. Lee?
Yeah, third place for me. I think, title challenge aside, whether it's 6 points behind, 9 points behind, or if it's 4 points behind, I think when we look at it, we are probably the third best team in that league. And a lot of stats probably put us in third place. So third for me. I don't see it any other way.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool and Man City are the two strongest teams clearly in the league. And although Man United have won, 6 in a row, I think they're riding on a bit of a Ollie wave at the moment. And I can't see that going all the way to the end of the season. The scum, although they're in that top 6, they're nothing to worry about.
We don't talk about that. I'm going to cut you off right there. We're not talking about that. So last couple of questions. Who is your favourite player in the Spurs side/squad? I don't know really. I don't really know if I have a Spurs. I really like Winks. I think Winks is class. I like the fact that the young players are given a chance, and I actually like the look of Skip as well. I think he looks like he's going to be a strong player. So, but I don't really have a favourite player as such. I know Lee's favourite player is Lamella.
A favourite player. That's what I will say is in terms of the squad. It's I haven't enjoyed watching a squad that we've got in place now in such a long time. So there's lots of favourites in there. If you ask me to pick one, I'll probably enjoy watching Sonny on his day.
So that's a good shout, actually. I do like Sonny as well.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same. When I pay for my ticket every game, half of it I'm thinking just going to see Sonny play. You know, that's how much I love watching him at the moment.
Good, very very good. So there's other questions. People are talking. Let's get rid of that. A couple of questions I saw about transfer windows and stuff. So we actually covered that in the show, which will be out tomorrow. So you'll be able to see those answers then. And trophies as well. If we think we're going to get a trophy, who knows? Yeah, I mean, we can definitely give anyone a good game on their day. So there's no reason why not. We've obviously got quite a nice draw in the FA Cup. We're in an okay position at half-time in the Carabao Cup semi. So 100% we can try and snag something. I think the Champions League may be a little bit too far, but you never know. On our day, we can definitely score against anyone. We've seen that in Barcelona. And so if we can just iron out those mistakes, then who knows? Who knows? Okay, well, thank you very much, guys, for watching and listening once again. Thanks for your questions. I'm sure we'll do this again next week. And once again, you know all of the usual shares and subscriptions. So great to see you, and thanks for watching. Appreciate all of your support, and we will see you again next week. Take care. Up the Spurs.